Okay, Sean, so we're in the fun basement.
Correct.
But what we're talking about is something that isn't necessarily always fun, but it's important. Doors.
Doors, yep.
So we're talking about really barn doors.
Correct.
Because this is very popular. And I know we're in Idaho, so of course that's popular here. I don't know if it's popular everywhere, but this is popular right now.
I would say it's probably popular everywhere.
Popular. So why would someone pick a barn door for a door versus another door? What?
So one thing about barn doors is they're a statement. You know, doors can be functional or they can have a statement to them. These barn doors are definitely have a statement and a function. The actual homeowner actually made these doors, which is pretty cool to have his own handiwork inside of his own home.
Yeah.
These are heavy doors though. I had to hang these. These are a couple hundred pounds a piece. They're beefy.
Yeah.
And then also with this one especially, he wanted to have them connected. Instead of having doors open up both directions, he wanted to extend the track so everything went to one direction. So again, those are things to think about. So and then how do you get these doors to stay connected together? So how do you have a plate on the bottom, or you build one big door? Again, those are things to think about.
This would be a big one door if you didn't do it separately. Yeah, makes sense.
So again, and then also making sure that you have the correct hardware to have enough strength to withstand the weight of
and to last.
Yes.
This is almost, I worry about this because barn doors have come into really fun in the last probably 5 or 6 years, right?
Yep.
That have got really popular. And you think of the pocket door.
Yep.
And however, thought they love the pocket door idea, but does the hardware last, or are you going to be coming off tracks?
Correct.
If you don't have the right.
Yeah. So again, we beefed up the hardware to accommodate for these big heavy doors.
Mm-hmm. So on so as a barn door, you don't need as much work in the thing, but you've got to have enough room for it to go somewhere.
Correct. If you want to have the door completely pulled to the side and have the full width of the opening, you have to be able to extend that track past even the width of the door.
Yeah. So they have to have a big open door plate, and you can't put anything there because this thing's going to slide right over top of it.
Correct.
So thinking ahead, is that going to work for wherever that space is?
Right. Again, and then the other thing to think about is hardware. What do you want to do for your hardware? Because on the outside, obviously, you have a big handle, but on the inside, you have to have some way to grip the door to be able to pull it
because you can't do this on the other side.
No, because it will hit the door frame. So again, hardware is another thing to think about. The other thing to think about is you'll notice on this door where it's so big and thick, he actually put rollers on there to guide.
Oh, on the track.
Yeah,
it's got a little roller.
On the bottom of the door to guide that door so your door's not banging into the wall all the time.
Yes. And if it gets to be banging, will it get into the track over here?
Yeah.
To keep it going straight.
Those kind of dumb things, but they're things that we think about and try to fix before the problem happens.
So now let's talk about why wouldn't they want a barn door? What's the drawback? Because it's fun, right? It's great. Why wouldn't you want? Let's walk over. We got another set of barn doors over here. Why wouldn't you want a barn door? What's pros and cons?
Part of it is obviously wall space. If you don't have the room to do barn doors.
So this gets a little bit on each side instead of one big long side.
Correct. So again, wall space is a big one. The other thing is privacy. As you're we did a bathroom in another house one time. And as you're walking down the hall, you kind of look, there's a gap between the door and the jamb on the edges. You can see right into the toilet room. And so, again, barn doors for bathrooms look cool.
Yeah.
Sometimes don't function the best.
That makes sense.
The other thing is sound, because you do have gaps around the perimeter.
These are not sealed off.
No. And so that's another thing to think about. Are you trying to prevent sound from getting out? Your weakness usually is your doors when you're trying to prevent sound.
So you've done everything inside for sound, and then all of a sudden, so the last door that we just looked at, if you want to see what's behind that door, it's all about soundproofing. But if you want it in there, that room is all about soundproofing.
Right.
But yet that barn door is going to probably let some sound out.
Correct. Again.
And sound in.
And sound in, but also he thought about that as well to try to do a thicker door to help so it didn't vibrate through.
That makes sense. And over here in the gym, you're thinking about that same thing.
Correct.
Is it's not going to have the same soundproof.
The other thing to think about is this door actually has what they call soft close and soft open. So as you do that, you'll notice that the door will kind of slow down.
Because the kids love to.
Yeah, I've had to fix many doors after the fact that kids just come flinging them open and they go off the track. These have the soft close, and so they actually will catch and slow the door down, as well as when you're closing them, it will slow it before they touch.
Gotcha. And on that big door, that would be important, but
With the weight of those doors, the soft close don't work as good
because it's
they're
so
massive.
heavy. Yeah. Interesting to think about that. Whether you choose a barn door, and the same thing with a pocket door, right? You've got to have that space for a pocket door,
Correct.
but you don't. You can put stuff on the outside.
Yes.
So
the other thing you think about is with pocket doors is you can't have outlets and stuff that inside that area because that interferes with the door as it's closing. Or even when you're shooting the baseboards on, make sure your nails are not going too deep to scratch the door as it's closing.
You got to think about that. So that means now pocket door, you're like, okay, well, I won't do a barn door. I'm going to put a pocket door in there. Well, no outlets over there then.
Correct.
And then, no outlets anywhere.
Yeah, in that pocket area.
Yeah.
And pocket doors are different, again, different levels of how nice of a pocket door you want.
Yeah.
They're the inexpensive ones that have little metal studs that your whole wall vibrates.
Yes.
There's times when you do 2x6s on laying flat to kind of help give it a little more structure. There's also other pocket doors that have soft close built into them as well. So again, there's a million different ways you can do pocket doors, barn doors. It's just you have to think about how it fits your building project.
Yeah, and I'll say from the realtor standpoint, also thinking about, this might not be popular forever.
Right.
And you're creating something that I don't know if you can do a lot of other doors.
Right.
Besides a barn door in this situation. And so if barn doors are no longer popular, you are dating that house for this time when you choose to do something that is trending.
Correct.
Yeah. And of course, you may still want to do it, but I think of things from the 70s. I think of remember the sink down conversation pits?
Yes.
Those are great.
Yep.
But I'll tell you, selling a house with a conversation pit, people go, what is this?
Correct.
And what else?
We've had to fill those in before.
There you go.
So.
If you've been thinking about building your dream home, I'm Braden with B&B Builders. Give me a call.